Thanks for watching Ayurved. Click the subscribe button and then enable notifications with bell icon so you won't miss any future videos. Medicine is as old as life itself. The existence of the species demands that simultaneously with the appearance of disease, all living things must have also evolved the means to combat disease. Man, with his superior intelligence, must necessarily have extended the scope of this search for remedies. Every human society must have developed a rudimentary system of medicine, whether based on material medica or in spells, incantations, magic, and ritual. The development of this primitive stage to a regular system of medicine has not been on equal lines everywhere. The progress of a system of medicine depends on various factors. Its form and content are decided by civilization and the environment in which it is born. We are getting ourselves familiar with the evolution of Ayurveda medicine in this video, so let's get started. Hello friends, I am Dr. Sandesh and welcome to my channel Ayurved. Here I'll explore the realms of Ayurveda just for you. The study of genesis and evolution of ideas in any science is always interesting and often instructive. Ayurveda is the system of medicine that evolved in India and has survived as a distinctive entity from remote antiquity to the present day. It would be motivating to study the history of Ayurveda, trace its origin along with other Indian systems of sciences and thoughts to assess its achievement and its place in the corpus of world medicine. Early development of Ayurveda as a complete system. All primitive societies have had a collection of remedies for common illnesses, evolved through trial and error methods, accidents, or by inspiration. But such remedies were purely empirical and not based on any logical understanding of illness or of drugs. The history of medicine in India is not a history of continuous development. The Indian system of medicine, Ayurveda, was evolved as a system with a rational and logical foundation. The science and art of medicine existed from the Vedic period and maintained a steady pace of progress during the early centuries of the Christian era. For centuries, its methods of treatment underwent little change, and that there have been no addition to its literature for a long time. Thereafter, there was a decline in creative activity, but revisions and commentaries of the earlier work continued to appear till about 10th century. The period from the 10th century to the 16th century, there was a great lull till the appearance of Bhava Prakash. There has been no major contribution to Ayurvedic literature after this new work. Medicine in the Vedas and Puranas. References to medicine are found in the earliest text of the Vedas. The legendary version of the origin of Ayurvedic system is that Brahma reminded it to Prajapati, who handed it down to Lord Indra, etc. In the Rig Veda, there are references to the first divine physician, Rudra, and how the Ashwini Kumaras cured Chavan of senility. There are a number of rigs addressed to Marut, Vayu, etc., in which the references to medicine is obvious. Systematic and comprehensive treatment of medicine is found in Atharva Veda. The Atharva Veda is considered to have originated later than Rig Veda and contains a description of diseases and cure of them. The tradition of medical knowledge is further carried during the period of Puranas. References to drugs, diseases, and healthcare are found in the epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata. Beginning of the systematic development. Folk healers of the subcontinent, healing practices in the Vedas and Buddhism, Jainism, and other ascetic and philosophical traditions have all contributed to the evolution of classical Ayurveda. India, with its abundant resources of medical plants, has a long history of folk medical traditions practiced by healers from all levels of society. We shall consider the period when systematic development can be said to have taken place. This era is associated with few illustrious names, the first of whom is Agnivesha. The Samhita, written by him, which is a classic and has survived to this day, has been made available to the world by Charaka, a redactor. Charak Samhita. The book is written partly in verse and partly in prose. The text is a record of teaching by Atriya Punarvasu to his students, and Agnivesha was one of them. The work is a complete compendium of medical information dealing with medical aspects as etiology, symptomatology, treatment, and medical care in health and in disease. Sushruta Samhita. Equal in importance to the Charak Samhita is another treatise called Sushruta Samhita. This work deals with the surgical diseases and diseases of the special organs such as the eye, ear, etc. Just as by tradition Charak Samhita is ascribed to Atriya Punarvasu, Sushruta Samhita is ascribed to Dhanvantari. Sushruta has recorded the precepts of this Puranic personage Dhanvantari. The age of Sushruta is not known. It is generally believed that Sushruta lived sometimes around 600 BC. Shushru Samhita could have undergone several revisions, the last of which is attributed to Nagarjuna. Ashtang Sangra and Ashtang Hridaya. Next in the chronological order appeared another classical work, Vagbhata's Ashtang Sangra. Vagbhata probably belonged to the 2nd century AD. He has summarized both Charaka and Sushruta and brought both medical and surgical diseases within the compass of a single treatise. The 8 parts are Kaya, that is general medicine dealing with digestive disorders, Bala, which means pediatrics including obstetrics, Graha, which means psychological disorders due to possession by evil spirits, Urdhvanga, which means diseases of the head, which includes eyes, ear, nose, throat and teeth, Shalya, which means surgery and treatment of external injuries, Danshtra, which means toxicology, which involves treatment of poisoning, snake and insect bites, Jara, which means geriatrics and rejuvenation, and Drisha, which means aphrodisiacs and treatment for sterility. Ayurveda is the only ancient science where care for old is described. There is another important work similar in the name and content. It is called Ashtang Hridaya. It is written entirely in verse and its author also bears the name Vagbhata. These 3 canonical texts of classical Ayurveda, Charak Samhita, Shushru Samhita and Ashtang Hridayam, reveal a multicultural origin of Ayurveda. Classical Gurukulam education of an Ayurvedic physician. The senior Ayurveda physicians were trained in the Gurukulam. They were masters of filling with deep knowledge of classical texts and all aspects of traditional therapy. In general, the methods and the progression of their training are those followed for centuries for mastering any Shastra or body of knowledge in India. The education of a traditional Ayurveda physician in the Gurukulam system involved a long period of intense study and apprenticeship under accomplished masters. Knowledge of Sanskrit in all its complexity through the study of grammar, poetry and drama was considered essential to decipher and analyze the intricate and implied meanings in ancient medical texts. In addition, the students mastered Sanskrit works on Tarka, which means the rules of reasoning and argument, and the traditional philosophies of Nyaya, Vaisheshika and Sankhya. Such erudition was necessary to become profound scholars of Ayurveda. Traditionally, during the period of apprenticeship under a guru, student physicians wrote out the prescription for patients. The master would only recite the first few words of the verse that contained the medical formulation he wished to prescribe, and the students were accepted to add the rest of the verse from memory and complete the prescription. With the textual source at the tip of the fingers, the apprentice, by observing his master practicing his art, gradually understood the rationale behind the choice of each treatment, for it is through persevering practicing under the guidance of a master that one attains the clear vision capable of rendering one's treatment efficacious. The students were also taught to identify plants for making personalized medical preparations by varying the ingredients appropriate to each patient's ailment. Individualized treatments taking into account all aspects of a patient's life are a specialty of traditional Ayurveda. The following verses of Ashtang Hridayam emphasizes the importance of examining in the minute detail the personal history of patient before diagnosing the disease and prescribing a treatment. The physician who minutely and attentively examines the condition of the vitiated tissues and waste products, the environment in which the patient lives, the patient's general vitality, the season, the patient's digestive power, his natural constitution, his age, his state of mind, his habituations, his food habits, and the stage of the manifestation of the disease, and then determines the nature of the aggravated dosha, and the appropriate medication will never go wrong in the choice of treatment. The Ayurveda physicians continue to make the effort to practice their tradition of person-centered therapy using medicines they themselves prepared that are adopted from the needs of each individual patient. Ayurveda gurus inculcate in their disciples the view that investigating and understanding the fundamental nature of human beings, the environment in which we live, and the nature of diseases are essential to become a master physician. Training to be a physician meant training the mind to be both analytical and intuitive while remaining grounded strongly in factual knowledge. Ayurveda is not only a system of healing but also a way of life. In order to develop the clarity of mind necessary to be a man of knowledge, methods of spiritual training known as upasana or sadhana have been an integral part of the process of learning the traditional sciences in India. Modern Ayurveda education. In the present-day Ayurveda educational system, Ayurvedic physicians are trained in modern Ayurvedic colleges with curriculum assigned by the state universities. Sanskrit is an integral part of curriculum as it is necessary for understanding linguistic nuances of classical Ayurveda texts. The curriculum covers a vast range of topics which embraces familiarity with the basic principles of traditional Indian scientific thought and assimilate the classical Ayurvedic mode of thinking. This 5.5-year-long graduation course is recognized as Bachelor of Ayurveda Medicine and Surgery. Further, post-graduation courses are available with different specialties and they comprise comprehensive knowledge of the given specialty. Students with the aptitude and motivation to undergo intense training to become scholar physicians, as is now available for advanced study in the basic sciences, would go a long way to keep the scholarly Ayurveda tradition alive. Conclusion: abridged and simplified versions of Ayurvedic therapeutic methods are supplanting age-old, established procedures, and such simplified versions are gaining popularity throughout the world. Traditional diagnostic methods are being abandoned and modern biomedical terms and techniques of analysis are replacing them in day-to-day practice of Ayurveda. Major changes are taking place in the educational system and transmission of Ayurvedic knowledge in order to comply with the norms of today. The traditional culture and practice of Ayurveda are at a crossroad, as they are obliged to comply with norms imposed by modern medicine and adapt to the changed socio-economic context. However, even in this changing time and its unavoidable influence on Ayurveda, the fundamentals on which Ayurvedic system of medicine is based are essentially true for all times and do not change from age to age. These fundamentals are based on human factors, on intrinsic causes, not extrinsic causes. Civilization may change, humans' habits may change, the environment may change, but humanity remains the same. Throughout the world, traditional medical systems are becoming part of mainstream healthcare. India is one of the few countries where different medical traditions have coexisted for centuries. There should be a novel integrative medicine paradigm where traditional Indian medicine system and modern biomedicine work together on an equal footing in a cooperative medical culture to form a dynamic healthcare system. With centuries-old indigenous medical systems and a strong presence of modern biomedicine, India is uniquely placed to pioneer such a medical revolution. That's it for this video, guys. Like it if you like, dislike if you didn't, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Till then, stay healthy, stay fit, and take care.